Those who understand twin flame relationships know of situations when people hold on to the idea that someone is their twin flame because they feel something strong for that person. The connection may feel spiritual or magical, but sometimes a bond is not a soul connection. It is a trap that keeps us stuck, hurt, and confused. It keeps us waiting and hoping while the other person does whatever they want without showing care or respect for your journey. Let's talk honestly. If your so-called twin flame is constantly focusing on their desires and ignoring your emotional needs, it might not be destiny you're experiencing, it might be damage. In spiritual communities, it's common to hear that twin flame connections are intense, transformative, and challenging. And yes, the actual journey of twin flames isn't always smooth. Some trials test both individuals. Some separations bring growth. But there's a big difference between divine discomfort that leads to soul growth and emotional suffering that only leads to depletion. Here are 4 powerful signs that you're not in a true twin flame connection, you're in a twin flame trap. 1. The relationship is mostly pain and drama. In a true twin flame journey, there is mutual growth. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there is separation sometimes. But even during those breaks, there is a silent respect. There is energy flowing both ways. You may not talk daily, but feel seen, heard, and spiritually connected. There is a sense of divine timing, not toxic waiting. But you are the only one showing up emotionally in a twin flame trap. You are the only one doing the work. You cry, reflect, heal, and try to make peace. Meanwhile, they're living their life, dating freely, ignoring you, or acting like you never existed. You call it a phase or soul work, but deep down, you wonder if you are not being emotionally abandoned. If your connection constantly feels like a storm, if every moment of peace is short-lived and followed by confusion, if the emotional weight is always on you, this is not sacred love. This is an imbalance. Pain alone is not proof of depth. And waiting alone is not a sign of faith. Sometimes, we mistake wounds for wisdom. But true spiritual connections help you become more whole, not more broken. 2. They use twin flame talk to excuse bad behavior. If they keep chasing pleasure, avoiding accountability, and staying silent while you suffer, that's not spiritual separation. That's selfish behavior. The connection becomes one-sided. It drains you instead of lifting you. The danger of staying in this trap is that you delay your healing. You start making excuses for them. You call toxic actions spiritual lessons. You mistake neglect for divine timing. Your soul becomes tired, your energy drops. You begin to believe that pain is love, and that is never the truth. Many people in toxic dynamics begin to spiritualize dysfunction. They say, he's avoiding me because he's doing inner work. Or she ghosted me because the energy is intense. But real inner work doesn't hurt people without accountability. Real soul growth includes awareness and care for others. If someone uses twin flame lingo, runner, chaser, soul contracts, divine union as a shield to justify immature, distant, or even cruel behavior, it's not spiritual. It's spiritual bypassing. And it keeps you stuck in cycles that aren't yours to carry. 3. The connection is one-sided. A real twin flame doesn't leave you lost for years with no growth. They don't constantly choose others while you wait in silence. They don't trigger only trauma without any effort to build peace. A real twin flame helps you rise, even from a distance. Without communication, clarity, or care, they don't leave you in emotional chaos for long periods. Your identity starts to disappear. You no longer focus on your path. You revolve around them. Every move they make affects your peace. You begin chasing signs, numbers, and dreams, not healing. You avoid hard truths just to keep hope alive. This is a sign of obsession, not a spiritual connection. When you're constantly checking their social media, analyzing every post, trying to decode every spiritual sign to see if they're thinking about you, you are no longer in the present. You're stuck in fantasy. Your life becomes centered around someone who isn't centering you. True twin flame love wakes you up. It may hurt at first, but it brings clarity. It doesn't keep you stuck in fog. If your so-called twin flame is barely present while you lose yourself chasing crumbs of meaning, it's time to ask if this is love or just longing. 4. The timing never works out. Genuine twin flame believers say that twin flames come together naturally when the time is right. But if you've been waiting for years for the right time while they live their life without you, this isn't destiny. You might notice they always have an excuse for why you can't be together properly. Maybe they're not ready, or they need to work on themselves first, or outside circumstances prevent your union. Meanwhile, years pass. You wait. Nothing changes. This isn't a spiritual journey, it's you putting your life on hold for someone who isn't choosing you. Let's be honest, people make time for what they value. Even in challenging situations, the effort shows. Growth shows. But if someone keeps postponing love while expecting you to stay emotionally available, they are not honoring the bond, they're taking advantage of your hope. Love that always delays itself isn't love. It's avoidance dressed as destiny. Here's the honest truth. Many people use the word twin flame to stay tied to pain. They believe suffering is part of the journey. But it's not. The universe never builds a connection based only on one person suffering while the other grows comfortably. If the person you call your twin flame keeps repeating the same hurtful cycles and never shows real change, they are not your spiritual mirror. They are a reflection of a lesson you're meant to outgrow. You may say,
"But the feelings are so strong."
Yes, they are. But strong feelings don't always mean strong foundations. Not all intense connections are meant to last. Some are meant to awaken you, not to stay with you. Some people come into our lives to remind us of our power by refusing to share theirs. And that's painful. So what do you do if you realize you're in a twin flame trap? You stop chasing. You stop calling selfish behavior divine delay. You begin to choose yourself. You start to heal, not for them, but for you. You give your soul the peace it craves, even if that means letting go of the idea of twin flame. Let this be clear, they're not your twin flame when someone keeps doing them with no respect for your heart, no care for your process, and no real effort to grow with you. They're your turning point. Don't stay stuck in a trap that wears the name of destiny. If the connection keeps breaking you down, it's not a divine union, it's a signal to break free. And sometimes, freedom is the real soulmate your soul is waiting for. Twin flame journeys can be sacred, healing, and transformative. But they can also become emotional prisons when we attach to the idea of someone instead of the reality of who they are. You deserve a love that gives, not just one that takes. You deserve a connection that lifts you, not leaves you drained, confused, and endlessly waiting. So ask yourself,
Is this love building me or breaking me?
Sometimes, the most spiritual decision isn't to stay. It's to walk away and reclaim yourself.